2. Oh wow, that sort of sucks.
Hi, I'm Coach Todd, and I'm with Mike DeLuca today. As some of you may or may not know, I'm giving away a watch. It's a Timex Global Trainer. It's a great watch. And in order to win the watch, you need to post 10 questions to my website or email me 10 questions. And today I'm going to answer 10 questions that I pulled off today. All right, so, and Mike is going to help me answer them.
I'll do what I can.
You didn't even know he was going to do it.
I had no idea.
Surprise.
All right.
Number 1,
Yeah.
What is your thought of compression stockings? So for me, I bought some I call them tights. I like tights.
I call them mantyhose.
Mantyhose.
Yeah.
I brought some compression tights 3 years ago, and I bought them at Try It, and I remember Rose saying, "Put these on, Todd." And they're like about this long or so. Are you serious? So I stuck them on. And once I put them on and I was running, I go, these are awesome. I just love the feel of them, and I loved how springy they were. And so I liked the compression tights for that, how I can train in them. I don't know about the recovery, all that stuff, I'm not quite sure, but I like wearing them and I feel good when I'm training. So that's my thought of compression tights. Your thoughts?
I really like them for recovery. I haven't used them so much for training. I do have some running tights that are more compression. I don't know how much I've benefited from them, but definitely I feel a difference with the recovery. So I have some recovery tights, I have some recovery socks,
Yeah.
and I have noticed a difference.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we like them.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2, what does a good strength training workout look like, and how many times a week do you strength train during the on and then off season? So what I usually get for some of my athletes, if they're going to strength train, is kind of an overall body. So we're working the upper body and then the lower body, but it's not a main focus on strength. And what we do is, if you're going to do strength training, try and do at least twice a week. And then I typically get people to stop doing weights in April. For me, I haven't done strength training for quite a few years. I focus mostly on swimming, biking, and running, just purely from a lack of time. What's your thought on that, Mike?
I've never had any problems building muscle. My problem is I bulk up too quickly, so I stay away from doing a lot of strength training. One thing though that I have noticed over this last year, and something I've tried to, I haven't been consistent with it, but just a lot of core and back strength.
I think that's good. That's very good. Core in the back.
Especially, I find on the bike, being an avid cyclist, I've read up on it enough, and a cycling fan. But a lot of the power on the bike comes from your lower back, and I definitely noticed it at Ironman in 2010, and I've noticed it as my training has increased. Get the odd backache or back pain, and I recognize that if I strengthen my back and work on my back, lower and upper, my posture is better because I tend to crouch forward after too much training, but also I think I feel a lot strong. I get a lot more strength out of that.
Okay, good. Let's go number 3. I'm looking to do my first Ironman 70.3 next year. Which ones you suggest a great first time race for this distance? We live in Calgary, so I like Calgary 70.3. You can also go to Edmonton. They have the Great White North Triathlon. That's one of my favorite races. That's really well done. The one in here is Chinook. It's not quite 70.3, but it's very close to the distance. That's very well run as well. If you like a little adventure, and if you have experience, Hawaii 70.3 is amazing. That was a great race.
Can't wear a wetsuit though, right?
Yeah, that's right. You can't wear a wetsuit at Hawaii.
There was no way I was doing my first triathlon without a wetsuit.
Right. But you got the ocean, you're being buoyed up.
Yeah. No, I'm not arguing with you. It's just, that's one to, you're right. It's a great race.
Do you have any other suggestions you would add?
My first triathlon was Great White North, and I love that race. It's a fantastic race. Another great race is the Oliver Half, although it's earlier in the year. It's early June. Yeah. But Oliver, BC, it's a great race. It's a great atmosphere, but I think it's a good one for first-timers as well.
And if you are an experienced first-timer or a strong first-timer, Wildflower is a great race. the half. It's a hard race, but it's fantastic. It's really good. Okay, let's go to number 4. Your favorite pre-workout meal. Now, for me, if I was training in the morning, I used to keep it very simple. I had orange juice and cereal. But as of last year, I just knocked that completely out. I don't eat, and then I eat as I'm training. So for me, I don't usually have a pre-workout meal. How about you, Mike?
If I did that, I would collapse.
Sure.
Depending on what I'm doing, but oatmeal or banana on toast with some almond butter.
Sounds good. Number 5, favorite quick recovery meal. For me, I keep it simple. I like the Hammer product Recover Right. I throw a couple of scoops in a water bottle, shake it up, and I'm done. Or you can have I like granola bars, chocolate milk, little juice boxes, stuff like that are really good. You?
Big fan of Recover Right, and if it's going to be quick and just I need something fast within the first 30 minutes to an hour after workout, either yogurt or cottage cheese work really well.
Number 6. Ooh, this is a good one. How many times a month should one get a massage when in training season, if at all? So I like, if you are in training season and if you can afford it, once a month would be great. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I get one about once every 3 weeks, once a month, somewhere in there.
Yeah. And if you're doing a race, say if you're doing a half marathon on Saturday or Sunday, try and get book a massage Monday or Tuesday after. It really helps with the recovery process. Okay?
Yeah, and deep tissue as well, because there's a lot of people who like massages for relaxation, and that I don't get any benefit. So.
Okay. Number 7. If I'm not ready to invest in a wetsuit yet, where is the best place to rent them? I think try it. Tryit.ca.
Honestly, I don't know who else rents them. That's where I went the first time, and that's
Try it in Calgary. I think it's try-it.ca. Rob's nodding at me, so that's good. All right, we're on number 8. Ooh, that's a good one. How do you train on a trainer with watt feedback? Now, I know you just started that, so you want to take that one, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, as I do this with everything, regardless of whether it's training or life or whatever, but I just kind of play with it at first and just look at the numbers. That was my biggest thing, just look at the numbers and try to just, what's it telling me and what's it doing? And too many times in the past, I've maybe overthought it before doing something and then was dissatisfied with the result. So what I started doing is I just played with it, looked at the numbers while I was riding, and then started playing with my workouts and easing off on the wattage and working on looking at my heart rate and my cadence and everything else and just watching the differences. And one of the big differences that I noticed was with the higher, I was holding my wattage at one point, lowering my tension on the bike, increasing my cadence, and watching my heart rate stay the same, and watching my wattage stay the same. I thought, well, this is a lot easier. Yeah. So I just kind of played with it, and that's probably the best way to do it.
I think that's a great idea. In the beginning, when you got a power meter, just play with it and upload everything you got. So every ride you have, upload it to Training Peaks or whatever software you use, so you have a record of it, and then do some tests. Like we always do an anaerobic threshold test or a CP30 test. 30 minutes as hard as you can go. Yeah. And then based on that, then you can determine your training zones. So then you have your targets for your wattage. Yeah. In the beginning, just see what you got.
Yeah.
And play around with it.
Yeah, just play with it.
Number 9. You're going to answer this one.
Okay.
I'll go first maybe. What's a great spin CD to help kill boredom or being in the basement on your bike for so long? Now, my brick classes, I'm notorious for having music that many people don't like. So I always... sometimes I'll throw in a little bit of ABBA, a little bit of the Bee Gees. And,
you will.
I will. I will.
You will.
Like it or not, and I'm too far away that we can't fast forward it.
Yep.
And I can turn it down, but turn it up.
Or just let the complaints drown it out.
Just let them drown it out. Do you have a CD that you recommend?
Music is so personal, right? That's why you get so many complaints, I think, because everyone's got their own,
That's right.
What we were listening to on the weekend that Kevin Walsh brought in was just a lot of trance music, and trance music is great because you literally just get into a trance and you get that music it's all You know, it's not my favorite type of music, but it works really well.
In the beginning, it was a bit of a shock.
But yeah, it was a bit of a shock for everybody. But
I
then,
liked it.
as you know, you got like this 10-minute, you know, bass thumping. You know, like you should be at a rave in Europe somewhere. But it was great stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, I am a huge Rush fan, and I would never tell someone listen to Rush because I know how people feel about them. But I've listened to some of the same stuff for years. I listened to Rush, A Show of Hands. I've listened to it since I started running back in the 90s, you know, and I just, it's what works for you. But I guess the only thing I could say is what I like is music that's upbeat but consistent tempo is probably the best.
I just lost my mic.
Bummer.
I know, I get a big beat. It's okay, just keep it rolling.
You want me to look at the next question?
No, we're going to edit this out.
All right. It's been off for a while, or did it just fall?
Just fell.
Oh, it's on the inside. That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, before we, because we're going to edit this out anyway,
Yeah.
can I ask you a couple questions when we're done?
Well, sure.
Because you never get interviewed, do you?
As long as they're easy questions. Like,
Yeah, it'll be easy, for
we'll make
sure.
them hard.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have a little pause here.
Okay.
Now we're on number 10. Okay, this is the last question. At what distance do air bars become a must?
At what distance?
At what distance? I think if you're doing a sprint, you don't need them. If you're doing an Olympic distance, you don't necessarily need them. But if you want to be competitive, I think it's going to help. Once you get into the half Ironman distance or the full Ironman, then I think it becomes more of a necessity. But it's not necessary to have them. I mean, you can just, I've known a lot of people who can't go aero for whatever reason, and then they ride just on their tops because of back issues or whatever. So I don't think it's ever becomes a must, but I think after you get past the sprint, you can use aero bars. Your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are completely opposite, actually.
Oh,
I think aero bars, after a certain speed, they become more of a factor in your performance. Also, I think it depends on the course. I think you know, if you're going to be on a hillier course, aero bars aren't going to help you a whole lot, whereas a road bike might help you more.
I mean, you're absolutely true. I did Ironman France a couple years ago, and it's a very hilly course, very technical, lots of twists and turns, and a lot of people did not have triathlon bikes with aero bars. They just had road bikes.
Yeah, and,
so you're right.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing too, I think with aero bars is it's not a comfortable position. It takes a while to get comfortable in aero bars and in that position. I think for shorter distances, really you're redlining it from tape to tape, which is why I don't do them.
Right.
I like longer distances because I'm a slow twitch kind of guy, and but you're redlining it. So if you're redlining it, you know, you're in that position for a short period of time. Speed is a factor. I think the aero bars are going to help you more. On the longer distances, like a half Ironman or an Ironman, it's hard to stay in that position for a long time, and it's hard on your back. And if you haven't, this is just my opinion, by the way.
Of course.
If you haven't trained for that, or if you don't have that comfort and flexibility, then I think, you know, you're probably going to get halfway through the bike course and go, oh, and you're just going to start sitting up, and then you're going to be a big sail, and all that effort was for nothing because you're now counteracting the need for aero bars. So that's my long-winded philosophical bent.
That's good. So that's the 10 questions. And Mike just told me that he has a couple of questions for me.
Yeah. I think, I don't know if it's for beginners or not, but, you know, I would ask you're the coach, right? And I see you out there, and you're running ahead of everyone, and you're strong on the bike as well. So your performance is always pretty high, and your training is always good, and it's your job. But do you have bad days, and how do you handle them? How do you have a bad day where you just either don't want to get on the bike, or you just had such a bad bike you just want to get off and say screw it, or like, how do you handle those days?
I mean, you can't tell I have bad days?
No, you're always so cheery and bright, it's actually kind of irritating.
Well, it's true. I do have bad days, but I really enjoy this a lot.
Yeah.
So when I get out there and I'm exercising, you know, I'm having a lot of fun. And so I think anytime you can get out and you can exercise, or swimming, biking, or running, it's a good day.
Yeah.
And I will have bad days, and sometimes I'll be in the pool, I go, well, I'm not swimming as fast, or I don't feel as good as I can, but I realize, you know what, I'm still able to do this, and this is a good day. So I think sorry, Mike, I don't have bad days. Every time I'm exercising is a good day.
Well, and that's good, right? Because I think a lot of people probably walk away from a workout, oh, such a bad day or such a bad workout, and it's easy for me, and I think for a lot of people, to maybe get down on themselves a little bit for for not having a good workout. And I've kind of gotten to the point where I look at it and say, well, all right, you can't win them all. That was, some is better than none, and put that one behind me. And
I think, we like little slogans as we go on, and I think this year or the last month I've been using is some is better than none. So if someone comes to the pool half an hour late and they got their head down, I go, well, just get in and swim. Some is better than none. You get a 30-minute workout. If you miss half the brick class, that's okay. Some is better than none. You get in and do it.
So I just have one more question.
Oh, sure.
What's your motivator? What gets you going? And I know you said it's fun and it's kind of like playing, really, and you really enjoy it. But what motivates you to do this sort of thing? And let's face it, Ironman's not a normal thing to do.
Ironman is not a normal thing to do, and I did a race in Wildflower, and along the course they have little signs that say, why are you doing this?
Yep.
And I can remember racing that I'd be blank and go, I don't know why I'm doing this. And it's almost taken me a few years to kind of figure it out. Like, I truly love this. But what I like most about triathlon is getting myself in shape and being able to just race that I know I can. I feel confident that I feel good. I'm not struggling. There's going to be some struggle for sure.
Sure.
Ironman is not hard. not easy by any stretch. But there's such
so it's reaching that potential?
Reaching the potential, and there's such a strong sense of community at Ironman.
Yep.
There's a strong sense of accomplishment. It's a fantastic day, and I've done it now for the last, I don't know how many years. I think it's number 7 or something coming up, something crazy. I just can't stop doing it, and it's a great way to end my season is Ironman Canada, and it's just so much fun. So I think my motivator, Mike, is to get out. I like training with you guys on the weekends.
Yep.
It's good. And at the end of the day, I get a little race. That's a cherry on top. It's good.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Todd. Thanks for coming out today.
You're welcome, Mike. Well, thanks for
That's
asking
all we
me
have
questions.
for today.
Say that's it, and happy training.
That's it, and happy training.